Hello everyone, this is Shansha and welcome to zinteractive. In previous lesson, we learned how to create 2D shapes. So now in this lesson 9, we will learn how to convert those 2D shapes into 3D objects. So let's start.
Look, I'm going to show you a magic trick. This is a 2D shape. See? A 3D shape.
Oh, I want to show you a magic trick. Ow!
Are you okay?
Yeah.
So now I believe that you already know how to create shapes and how to convert a shape into a spline, and then how to join two shapes together and make them into a spline or a customized shape. So now in this lesson we will learn how we can convert any 2D shape that we make in 3D Studio Max into a 3D mesh. Okay, because as I told you last time, that any shape that we create or any spline we create is not 100% 3D. For example, if I go over here and create shapes, and when I take a circle, okay, and create a circle, after that if I go in the rendering option here and turn on the enable in render or add enable in viewport, so you can see I can give it a 3D thickness, okay, but there is no depth. So it's kind of like a 2.5D you can say, okay, or maybe still it is 3D. Then if I will turn it into a rectangular, then you can have a depth, but you won't have a right 100% thickness to it, okay, because it will be always hollow and it will not look like it's a 100% 3D. Okay, so how we can convert any shape or spline into a 3D mesh, let's see in this lesson now. So let me delete this one. So let's do one thing. Let's make it a heart-shaped chocolate box. Okay, so let me zoom extend all, and then I will go back here, take my line, okay, and I will create half of the like a heart shape. Don't worry about this thing, what is happening here, why it is getting thickness, because my rendering enable in viewport and enable in render is on, because whatever option you choose in the last operation, it is still activated, so you have to uncheck these. So now I will be fine. So I have created half of the heart, but I need to kind of modify it or reshape it in a nicer way. So I will go here, and in the modify I will go to line vertex, take these vertices, move my beziers, okay, and I'll try my best to make it as smoother I can make it. Okay, okay, so once I'm done, if you all remember what tool we will use here, we will use here mirror tool to copy it on the other side. So let me select my line, okay, I will go to mirror, okay, copy, done, and then what I will do is that I will attach these two. So I will take this one, okay, simply go down here, attach, and click on the other half. I have it now. Now it's time to fix these vertices, because they are not joined together, either they are overlapping or they might have a little gap like here. Okay, so I will select these two first on the top. Let me take my move and select tool. I will select these two from the top. Okay, so first thing, to make sure they are on top of each other and they are interconnected, so we have to use fuse, and then we have to weld it. Same thing I will do on the bottom. I will select these two, fuse, and then weld it. Okay, so once I'm done, I have this heart shape. Now we have this heart shape, which is not a 3D mesh, as you can see over here. You can tell like it's not a 3D mesh. Now, how to convert a shape into a 3D mesh? There are a couple of different ways. We need to apply modifiers on our 2D shapes. Now those modifiers help us to convert a 2D shape into a 3D mesh. There are a lot of different kind of modifiers that that can do this thing. Okay, first one we will talk about here is extrude. Now what does the extrude do? It gives a height to your object, to your shape. Okay, first of all, what it will do is that it will convert this 2D into a planar. Okay, what do I mean by planar? Let's see. We have to go in the modifier list and then we have to search for extrude. Obviously extrude will be in the E option. Here we have extrude. So if I will click on extrude, you will first see that it is converted into a planar. Now kind of look like it's not hollow, or it does not look like it's a cage or it's a frame. So it does not look like a frame anymore. It looks like a planar, okay, like a plane. Now if we will go, we are already here in the modifier. You will see here we have segment, okay, which will not work right now because it will work with the amount. Amount is 0, that means segment doesn't count. Okay, now what is the output? Output is we want a mesh. As I told you, we are converting a 2D shape into a 3D mesh. Okay, then we have amount here. I will increase the amount and you can see that what is happening over here. Okay, clearly you can see that it is converting into a mesh. It is having a height, it is having a depth. Now it is 100% 3D. If I orbit around, you can see that. Let me go to my perspective viewport and you can see that it is 100% 3D. Okay, so I hope it is clear now. Now what is the segment basically? So if I press F4 on my keyboard to turn on the edge faces, so you can see that there is no segment on the height. So if I increase the segment, you can see that the new segments are being created on the height. But I don't want that. I will keep it 1. That's fine. Okay, so very easy. Extrude will give it a height. Okay, now let me delete extrude from here and let's apply the other one, which is bevel. Okay, so we have a lot of them, but I'm only going through the ones which are highly used. Okay, other than that you can try different like modifiers, but all of these modifiers are not for converting a 2D shape into a 3D. They are for some other reason, but 3D Studio Max that keep everything in the list. Okay, whether it can be applied or whether it cannot be applied. So don't get confused with that. So some will work, some will not work. So bevel will definitely work, but what is bevel? Bevel is exactly the same, not exactly, but it is kind of the same thing like extrude. It will give it a height, but what extra thing it will do? The extra thing it will do is that it will give a certain amount of taper on either of the edge. Okay, now if I will click on the bevel, you will see that same thing. What happened with the extrude happened with the bevel as well, but bevel have more different kind of options over here. So here we have capping also. This capping you might have seen in extrude also. So I will explain this one. Like this capping is also in extrude and it is also inside the bevel. Okay, so I will get back to the capping. Now let me go down here. Just forgot about all these things at this stage. So directly let's move to the bevel value. Now the bevel value, the first thing that you will see over here is the outline. Now what is the outline basically? Outline is the size of your first cap. This is the cap basically. Okay, the cap which is written over here, start cap or end cap. If I uncheck this start cap or end cap, you can see that it's not V1. Okay, so what is the start outline? Is the is the size of the first cap. So if I increase or decrease, you can see that it is becoming bigger or smaller. Okay, so I will keep it 0 and I will tell you later on how it will affect your shape. Okay, now let's go to level 1. So you will see that there are 3 different levels. So we will see first the level 1. Level 1 is exactly like extruding. Okay, but the extra thing that it will give you is the outline. Okay, so I will increase the height and you will notice it is kind of same as we were doing in the extrude. But what is the extra thing here? The extra thing is the outline. Now there are two outlines, start outline and this outline. The start outline, as I told you, is the outline of your beginning of the cap, which is here. So if I will increase or decrease this outline now, you can see the whole thing is becoming bigger and smaller. The whole outline is becoming bigger and smaller. But these level outlines are specifically for each level. So if I increase or decrease the outline of level 1, so you will notice that only the outline of the level 1 is increasing or decreasing. Okay, so I will make it something like this kind of outline. Okay, now let's go to the level 2. Let's okay, before going to level 2, let's go back here and see what is this capping. Now if I turn off the start, okay, nothing will happen. Why? Because the start is at the bottom. So if I move or rotate on the bottom, now you can see there is nothing on the bottom. It looks like it is hollow. This box is basically not have like a it's kind of a like a cap is missing. Okay, so I will turn it on, so you can see now it is capped. So that was the starting cap, and if I will go on the top and turn off my end cap, so you can see the last cap will be turned on. Okay, so that was the last cap. Okay, so but I will keep it as it is, I will not change it. But let's go to level 2 now. Now the level 2, I can, once I will increase the level 2, so you can see that an extra outline is like extra extrude is kind of like a pending from this area. Okay, but this is straight. It does not have an outline like this one because its outline is 0. That means whatever extrude like height value I will give it, it will be always straight as 100% extrude. So I will not go too high, maybe this much, and I can change the outline of it, and it will kind of look like smoother like this one. Okay, so you can see that this is how your like design will look like. Now you can go to the third one. Okay, if I will go to the third one, what I can do is that I can increase more, this a very minor, and then I can outline it very like a tiny amount here. Okay, now you can see that a nice kind of a like outlines I have, okay, on different levels. So you got the idea. So what does the bevel do? Bevel gives you a height like extrude, but it also gives you an outline. Because in reality, the edges of any object, like whether is it a mobile phone, speaker, okay, a television set, okay, or table, the corners, or you can say the edges, are basically not knife sharp. They are a bit of smooth. For example, here you can see that this is a 3D model, and here you can see how smooth the the edges are. And here is a picture of a real television. So if we zoom in, so you can see these edges here. They are not like knife sharp cut edges. They are kind of it have a curve. It have a smooth it's like smoothness over here. So that's why it's always ideal to keep your edges kind of a little bit smoother. Okay, in this case it is too smooth, but we will go with it as we are just doing the example here. Okay, so this is how you can create like bevel outlines and everything. Now other options over here are like basically on the it's about the caps, okay, and it's about like the surface itself. So let's see like what are these. So we have your cap type, but we will not change the cap type because usually we keep the cap type as it is. Okay, and the important thing here that we want to look at and do is the surface. Now the surface at the point is linear sides. Okay, so we will keep the linear sides, but at the point, if you will see these sides, they are kind of sharp. Okay, and mostly like a rigid surface. Okay, if I click on the smooth across level, so if you will notice, this sharp line will become like a smooth line. So let me turn it on, and you can see it has become a little bit smoother. Okay, I can increase the segments here, so it will become a more and more smoother, or it will have more like a shape of it. Okay, so let me turn off the edge faces so you can clearly see the results. So this is with the smooth across levels. Okay, if I turn it off, so this is sharp. Okay, so I hope you now understand what is the difference. So I will keep the smooth across level so that I can have a very nice good result here. Okay, now one more thing I can do here is that I can turn on my edge faces again with the F4. I can still go back to the line and I can fix the line. So when I will fix the line, the result will change in the bevel as well. Okay, so for example, if I will go to the vertex and if I go to this point, okay, and I want this point to be smoother, not sharp. Okay, so I can go in the fillet option here, take the fillet option, I try to make it a little smoother like this one. Now once I'm done, I will click on the line again, and if I will go to bevel, so you can see that, let me turn off this, the result is quite changed over here. It's more smoother as it was as it wasn't before. Okay, another thing I can do here is that I can go to the line and I can go to the vertex again. Okay, let me do one thing, let me undo what I did before. Okay, and you can see that it became sharp again. Now I will go to the vertex. Now one more thing you can do here is that you can turn on the show end result, so you can see while you are updating, you can see the result also. So I will turn on the show end result, and you can see that this orange is basically your changes that you're applying, and the other one is the result that you're getting. Okay, so if I will go here now in the fillet and try to apply the fillet, you will see the change in the result in real time. So if I'll increase it, you can see that it's changing. Okay, so I want it to be more smoother, I want it to be smoother like this. Okay, so kind of look like better now. If I will go to this end, I can do the same thing here. I don't want this to be too sharp, because you will see that it looks like knife cut sharp. And I told you before, in reality there is nothing like a knife cut sharp. There is always a curve, a tiny smooth curve. Okay, so I will go here and increase it. I can increase more, or a little bit, something like this. Okay, so now I have what I was looking for. Okay, if you think it is too much, what you can do else is that you can undo it. Okay, and instead of changing from here, what I can do is that I can go here. Okay, first of all, let me take this one, turn off from here, and I can write a value like 0.5. Okay, or 0.5 if it is too much. So what I can do is that I can undo it. Okay, and I can write here 0.1. Okay, and even if you think 0.1 is more, so what you can do is that you can write a value like 0.02 or 3 or whatever. So you can go to the 0.0, something like that, and then the value will be much less. Okay, so here I got the result. And then if you don't want the show end result, you can turn it off or keep it on, and then you can go back to the bevel. Okay, so this is how the bevel works, and this is how you can apply your modifier or on your shapes and to change them to something else. Okay, so this is pretty much how it works. Now what we can do is that, as I told you, we are making a chocolate box. So chocolate box is there, but there is no cap for it. So what I can do is that, first of all, I need to make it a little bit hollow. Okay, so I will go to the capping and turn off my end capping, and it will look like this. Now what I can do is that I can press shift on my keyboard. First of all, let's go to the orthographic views. Now I will go to left or front viewport, any one of these. I will press shift key on my keyboard and make a copy of it by moving it up. Once I have it, I will keep it a copy, name it. Okay, now if in the bevel, what I can do is that I can I don't want level 3, I don't want level 2. Okay, but I do want end cap here. I will reduce the height, okay, something like this, increase the outline, okay, and I can put it on the top like this. And the main outline, the start outline, I will decrease it a little bit more, okay, till it looks like this. Let me go here, okay, and one more thing now I can do, as now I have this height, the one that I was looking for. One thing extra I can do here is that, let me turn on this edge faces. I can now add my levels. Now level 2 is too much, so I will add a little bit, outline a little bit, okay, just like the television I showed you. I will use now like a tiny outlines, okay, and then I can add level 3, okay, like this, and F4 I will press again so I can see the whole thing. Now looks like a quite decent sort of chocolate box. Maybe you can increase the height more, okay. So this is how you actually can make things out of your like your shapes and convert them into a 3D like meshes, and you know, so many things you can do with this. So this was bevel, okay. So this is how the bevel work, and with this, you know, you can see that with a single shape, a normal shape, we have made this one, okay. So maybe you can do something like this. You can make an open one, you can put some more shapes inside it, okay. And the only thing missing is here is the thickness, okay, because it is the thickness of this box is like exactly like a you can say basically a paper, okay. It's not thick, it's thickness like a paper, it's very thin, okay. So if you want to add a thickness to it, so there is one more modifier you can go in the list, okay, but this modifier you can only apply after converting your shape into a 3D mesh, just like what we did right now. Otherwise it will not work directly on a 2D shape, it will always work on a 3D shape later on. So this is called shell. So if you go to shell, okay, and you apply the shell, so you can quickly see that now I have a like a thickness. So there are two different kind of thickness, inner and outer, and the segment of it. So right now we are working on the outer thickness, so it is becoming thicker from outside, but I don't want the thickness on the outer like a surface. I want the thickness on the inner surface, so I can convert the outer amount to 0 and I will increase the inner amount, okay. You can, if I will turn on my edge faces here, so I can increase the segments, okay. If you want, you can use bevel edges, so the edges will become beveled, okay. So but you have to create one more spline here, so that, and like select that like spline, otherwise you don't actually need this part. So this is how you can get a decent like sort of a design here, okay. Same thing I can apply here, but I have to go here, I have to apply shell, like, you know, I have to go through the whole process. But what if I go to this box where I have already applied shell? I can right click on here on this shell, I will copy this shell, I can go to this cap, okay, right click here, paste instance or paste. Paste instance means if I will change the shell over here or here, so any one of these will change, just like the clone instance as we learned, okay. So, or paste, because paste, if I will change the shell of this one, the shell of this box will not change, only the shell of cap will change, okay. But I want it to be instance because they both are same, so I will go to the instance here and I will apply it here, okay. So you can see clearly it is applied here, okay, but we cannot see it. The reason is that if you go to the bevel, the starting cap is on, so I have to turn off the starting cap. So if I will turn off the starting cap, now I can see clearly here, okay. So now you can see that we have this box. Okay, so what we can do is that let me delete this, okay, and remove the shell from here, delete the shell, delete the bevel, and now let's see what else we have over here. So let me also delete this heart, because what we are going to make right now will better work on a straight line. So what I can do is here, I can take a line here and click here, and right click, and I have a straight line here. Okay, so now the next one that we will see is called sweep. Now sweep basically is used for architectural modeling. Okay, so as I told you before in the beginning, in the introduction, 3D Studio Max is a very strong tool, very strong application when it comes to architectural modeling. Okay, it has so many options that will help you to create architectural modeling. Okay, so sweep is a really good tool which help you to create like a profiles of a walls of a building. Okay, or the borders which are on the bottom of your walls or the floor and like those profiles. Okay, and also the ceiling profiles. So many things you can create with the sweep. So how do sweeps work? So I will apply the sweep here. I'll go back to my modifier list. Okay, and I will search for sweep. Now once I will apply sweep, I have something like this. Maybe you will see something different because this is the setting which was used when I was using the last time. So all the time the settings which comes on your screen is coming from the last setting that you have applied. Okay, so maybe yours might be different. Okay, now what is the sweep basically? Sweep is like a profile. So it was a straight line, and that profile is created on the straight line using the shape you want. Now the shape here are a lot of shapes. Let me go to the first shape here, which is the angle shape, and you can see that it's like a L. So if I move my line in this direction, so you can see here is my line. I drew the line like this, if you remember, but that line is now extruded with the shape which looks like an angle, like an L. Can you see that? Okay, so that's how it works. Now I can go here and change the shape. Okay, I can choose a bar, so it will look like a bar. Now it is like a bar. I can change it to channel, so it looks like this. So you can create beams, in architectural modeling. When you're creating a structure, you have beams, so you can create beams with these. Okay, cylinder, it will look like this. Okay, half round, you have pipe, you have quarter round. Okay, then you have T, then you have tube, then you have like wide flange. Okay, you have egg, you have ellipse. So a lot of different kind of these like profile shapes you have, and you can make your own by going into use custom section. Okay, so what you can do here is that I can go here, take my line, okay, and then I can create something like press F on the keyboard so that I can go to the front, or let me press L so I can go to the left viewport. And I can draw something over here, like maybe a random shape like this, and right click here. Now I will go back to my perspective viewport by pressing P on my keyboard to get the perspective viewport. Okay, so I can go now here. Let me check and select this, deselect this one. Now I will take this. Okay, now I can go to use custom section. Okay, as soon I will select the custom section, so it will move from here and go to the custom section. Now I can press pick, and I will select whatever profile I made, suppose this one, and as soon I will click it here, you can see that it is converted to this profile. Now I can use I can extract whatever I selected from here, like sweep line. and then it will be extracted. You can see here it is extracting down, but let me undo that. I don't want to extract. Okay, and you can use it as an instance so that if I change this one, this will change. Okay, for example, if I go here, okay, in the line, and if I change these options, so you can see that it will change my my design here as well. Okay, so that's how the instance will work. Let me go back to here. So I will keep it instance. I think it's good. Okay, now I can go back to my settings over here. So I have here, let me do one thing here. Let me go back to this and delete this one. Here, if I will go down, okay, in the parameters, you can see here I have length, width, thickness, corner radius. So if I zoom in here and turn on my edges, okay, I can increase the length, okay, I can increase the width, I can increase the thickness, I can increase the corner radius, okay, which is from here. Or there are mirror plane option here bottom. What does the mirror plane options do? If I click on the XZ plane, so what will happen? It will mirror to the XZ side. Okay, which is the XZ side? Here is the X, okay, and here is the Z. So notice what happens if I click here. Okay, so it is mirrored there, but the problem is that because this shape is like a uniform shape and my line is straight, so it will not show. So let me do one thing. Let me go to the vertex here, okay, or you know what, let me delete this line here and let me make a circle, okay, and on the circle let me apply the sweep, and in this sweep now I can do what? I can do these kind of little changes here. The same T is applied, but T is applied on a circle. Now if I will click on the mirror XYZ, if I uncheck it or click over here, so what happened? XYZ, it got mirrored downwards. Okay, this will mirror upward, but you cannot see as it is, you know, more uniform and it is same as even if I will do the mirror, I will not see the result because it's more like symmetrical on this plane. Okay, now if I will go to X of offset, so you can see that it is big, the outline is becoming bigger or smaller because the shape is offsetting. Okay, it's expanding or it's contracting. So you can do that on the X-axis. Same thing I can do on the Y-axis. Okay, it will go up or down. Okay, I can also change the angle. Okay, so you can see the angle is changing. So this can be a very good kind of a a rooftop ring for any dome or something like that. So a lot of things can be created. Now here you have smooth section to turn on and off, so that if you don't want a smooth result, you can turn it off. If you don't want a smooth part, you can turn it off. Now you can see that it is little bit jagged, it's not smooth anymore. Let me turn off the edge faces, so you can see now it's not smooth anymore. But if I will click on it, you can see that it is more smoother. Okay, I can align the pivot point. Right now it's on the bottom, so that's why it is sitting on the grid. But if I will click on the top, now you can see the pivot is on the top, so that's why it is under the grid now. Or you can move in the middle or sideways, so you can do whatever you want by choosing any one of this. Okay, I can turn off the banking or turn on the banking. Banking means it gives a little bit offset on the path and make it kind of out from the path. Okay, so sweep is really good for creating profiles for architectural modeling. Okay, so a pretty good tool that you can use. Now we know how to use the extrude, we know the bevel, now we know also the sweep. Now there are a couple of more which we will learn in the part B of this lesson. So guys, until then, take care. If you still have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe it. Also press the bell icon so you can get the notification. Especially for the next part of this tutorial, you will get the notification once you will press the bell icon. Also watch all the tutorials online so that I can have enough watch time hours, which will help me or motivate me. So guys, take care and see you in part B of this lesson.